Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, as you may know if you watched my most recent video, about a month ago I picked up a new camera, which was the Sony A7RIVa. This is a 61 megapixel full frame camera, and as sensor sizes and megapixel counts increase, so do the file sizes of the images that these cameras shoot. Now, when photography is your job, that's going to mean a huge amount of storage that's needed, and I've already had to buy another external hard drive just to cope with these file sizes. Now, one way to combat this, rather than having to resort to shooting JPEG, is to shoot compressed. So on Sony's full frame cameras, they give you the option of shooting compressed or uncompressed. Now, automatically as a photographer, as soon as I hear the word compressed, that sets alarm bells off to me, because I think that the quality is going to be crushed. I'm thinking of like when you post an image to Instagram, or if you send something through WhatsApp, it's never full size quality, and as soon as you zoom in, it's absolutely awful. There's just pixels everywhere, and it just makes me think no. However, what I wanted to do was to look at some uncompressed and compressed files next to each other to see if you really can tell the difference. And I thought, to give me a bit of a comparison, what I would do is I would shoot the same image, uncompressed and compressed, on both the A7RIVa, which is a 61 megapixel camera, and the A7 III, which is a 24 megapixel camera, and see how the two compare. So all I did is just set up a simple shot of some trainers that I just bought, simple one light setup, camera on a tripod, same lens, same settings, everything exactly the same, so that we could compare one to the other and one camera to the other and see what we could find out. Now, once I took these images into Lightroom and had a look at them, I was very surprised. So you can see here that the yellow images are the A7 III and the purple are the A7RIVa. Now, when we look at the two side by side, you'll notice that there's actually not much difference whatsoever. In fact, to be fair, there's barely any. Now, bear in mind that the file sizes on the A7 III are that the uncompressed image is 49.1 megabytes and the compressed image is 24.8 megabytes. Whereas on the A7RIVa, the uncompressed is a whopping 122.9 megabytes, and even the compressed one is still 61.7 megabytes. Now, that's twice as many images that you could have if you shot compressed on the same amount of storage when compared to uncompressed. It's literally half the amount of storage that's needed per image. And I think that it's worth it, because you can't tell the difference between the two. Even when we're looking at 400%, 200%, there's still no difference there. Now, when it comes to exporting, there's no difference whatsoever when it comes to actual file size. A JPEG on the A7 III is going to be around 10.4 megabytes if it's uncropped, and on the A7RIVa it's going to be about 29.2. And if you're looking at TIFFs, you're looking at 144 megabytes on the A7 III and 361 megabytes on the A7RIVa. Now, I found this quite surprising. Obviously, this is an artificial setting and the subjects are well lit. You've not got really deep shadows, really blown out highlights or anything like that. And it would be interesting to compare what deep shadows on like a really underexposed image are like on the uncompressed compared to the compressed. But if you get your exposure right, there is no need to shoot uncompressed. You've still got great detail retained in the compressed files. On the A7RIVa, those compressed files are still bigger than the uncompressed ones on the A7 III, and you've still got the ability to export at the same size. So for me, I'm definitely going to be shooting compressed from now on. It means having half of the storage, which makes it easier to offload files. You're not going to spend as much time copying them from your memory card to your hard drive. It just seems like a no-brainer to me. The only time when I might consider uncompressed is if I'm having to deal with a difficult exposure, or if I'm looking at creating HDRs, so where we're going to be having images that are under and overexposed as well as correctly exposed to create a HDR image. Then I may shoot uncompressed just to make sure that I retain that detail in both the highlights and the shadows. But for me, as long as you get your exposure right in camera, it's an absolute no-brainer, especially on a camera like the A7RIVa, where even those compressed files are so big. But it'd be interesting to know what you think. Have you tried shooting compressed before? Did you even know about it? Do you have a camera that allows you to shoot compressed and uncompressed? Because I know, for example, I've got a Sony A7RIVa and it's not an option on there. It's literally, it's either RAW or JPEG. And obviously we're not going to be shooting JPEG. But that's a conversation for a different video. But yeah, let me know down below what you think. Thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.